Hello, everybody. Hello, everyone. My name is Ricardo, and I'm joined by EP the Great, Elijah Powell, and we want to welcome you to HBCU Drumline Talk. First of all, let me first say that I hope everyone is staying safe during these challenging times. I want to also take the time to congratulate my co-host, EP the Great, on this wonderful PASIC presentation that took place a couple of weeks ago. Elijah, go ahead and expound on this. Give us some insight of what happened with that.
Well, thanks to Dr. Lawhorn at North Carolina A&T. I was blessed with being a clinician at PASIC, which stands for Percussion Arts Society International Convention. It was a presentation called More Than a Backbeat, which focused on HBCU drumline arranging and composing. So yeah,
congratulations with that. Congratulations with that. Okay, so today's episode is entitled HBCU Drumline, A Female's Perspective. And today we have three special guests who have joined us today to discuss their experiences and their perspective while marching in an HBCU drumline. So with further ado, we want to go ahead and give everybody a chance to introduce themselves. Whoever wants to be first.
All right, I'll go.
Okay.
Peter Gregory, to Norfolk State University, and marched from 94 to 90. And I played snare, and I was section leader.
Good.
Okay.
I'm Shanavia McFadden. I marched for South Carolina State University. I marched from 2013 to 2017. I was just a snare drummer, and I didn't hold any, positions or anything like that. But I was happy to be there. So.
Good.
Hey everybody, my name is Shantae Moore. I am a graduate of Virginia State University.
V-State.
Period. Okay, but but I play snare, and I was just a member.
That's good. Okay. So all three, we got a good cast here. We're about to get started with the questions at this point in time. So like I said, we're just going to do this as an open panel. So this is your platform to really talk about your experience and, what advice would you give to other folks, trying to be on the drumline as well. So we're ready.
All right, so first question, were there any challenges that you experienced when you were a freshman joining the drumline? Shantae, you can go first, and then we just go around.
Okay. Okay. Well, this was the question. So any challenges I faced, I am a social justice warrior. So I'm very much about making sure that everyone is being treated equally. And so I had challenges in that area because I was very vocal and I spoke up for people. But I had to learn not to do that just because those people that I was standing up for, they at that time wasn't as strong as me to, be a backbone for themselves. So that was the biggest challenge for me.
For me, my biggest challenge was adjusting to the playing style at SC State. It was borderline DCI, and I'm from Sumter County. So I know nothing about, the technique, the mental approach you have to master that playing style. And, everything at the college level is moving 1,000 miles a minute. Everything is harder, it's more intense, it's faster. You're expected to learn at such a higher learning curve. And as a freshman, I just didn't have that. But I stuck with it. I hung in there, and thank God everything worked out for me.
Good. And here you are today.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, exactly.
Okay.
It's similar to Shanavia's, but back my high school was a core style. And so when I went to Norfolk State, it was complete culture shock as far because I'm used to playing the DCI style, strict like that. It was like little minor things like note placement, like at Norfolk, let's say a 6-stroke roll, they kind of swing notes. So if I'm reading and I see a 6-stroke, I'm going to play it like I'm used to with. But if I someone else, I'm sounding dirty. I'm swinging the notes. So I had a real hard time adjusting to that style. Also, visuals, because in high school we didn't. So learning how to twirl sticks, visuals, that was a challenge. Hilarious at the same time. So sure some of my brothers have interesting stories about me practice early on. Visuals and adjusting to the style, my biggest challenge coming in.
Yeah, I would say that was one of my challenges. I could play, but I couldn't twirl my left hand. And I came from a core style school, and yeah, it was a struggle.
I think I want to chime in on that too. It's crazy when I first saw Virginia State and I saw them playing, and I said, man, I'm about to get down here and I'm about to put on a clinic. And I'm saying this as a senior in high school. I was like, man, I'm gonna walk on here and I'm about to set fire to this line.
7 miles ready.
Yeah, and you know what? It sounded good at the time, but when I actually got down there, it wasn't the playing at all. It was the profiles, it was the movements that almost had me sidelined, and almost had me to the point, man, I don't even know how to play. What? I think that was really an eye opener. It was really humbling at that point. Things, and like you said, back when Elijah and I were, it wasn't a lot of patience. It was,
right.
It was
either get it or go.
we won't catch that up. We're gonna catch that up the next go round.
Yeah, you sit out for this one. Yeah.
So I really appreciate you guys' perspective on that. And there, just like that, there were a lot of challenges even back then for us as well. So really good. As I really looked at some of you guys' bios that you sent, the next question really, at what age did you start to have an interest in the drumline period? I mean, what really sparked your interest?
For me, I was 13 years old. I was in 7th grade. And Crestwood High School's drumline came to perform for my middle school. And there was a young lady playing snare drum that day. And that was the first time I'd ever seen another girl play drums before. And in my mind, I remember thinking as I'm watching her that if she could do it, then I can do it too. And I went and did it.
If she can do it, you can do it. That's good. That's a good aspect.
Yeah.
I think mine. Because Norfolk State is like big around here, so I was raised in the same 757 area. The Labor Day Classic down here. So even as a child, and my mother went to Norfolk State, so I was always around. I was always really into music, from a really early age. But once I started really going to the games and let's say junior high school, then I really got a love for it. And North came to my high school and performed. And after that, I was like that. I was pretty much sold then. After I saw them up first, that was it.
After that, you was like, I will be there. I'm going to be there.
Yeah, for me, I'm from Minnesota. So we don't have any HBCUs here at all, and no real Black representation of pretty much anything. So Drumline the movie was it for me. Seeing the girl do the one arm push-ups and all of that, and so I saw that movie when it first came out, and I ran out the movie theater and did the one arm push-up. Back then, yes, I could do it, but I can't do it now. But and then on the side of the movie, on the credits, they have how to hold the sticks and stuff. And I was like, okay, let me figure it out. And I was really actually trying to figure it out. So that was one part. Then at some point in middle school, we had a teacher, and he said girls couldn't join the drum line or drum class that he was teaching.
Say that again.
He said, "Oh yeah," he said girls couldn't join the drum class. So I was like, "Why not?" So that teacher, he left, and then my mentor came, and he let everybody join. So I was able to finally do it in 7th grade as well.
Good for
so
you.
that was what it was for me.
Good for you. I'm glad you. That's an important aspect. A lot of times we don't look at it. You know, it's already hard enough to try to get on the line, but if you have somebody that's, you know, saying, you know, as a female, that's not something that you do, and I think that may be like a unwritten stereotypical rule. I don't know,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
I'm glad you stuck with it. You stayed the course, so that's really good information.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so for the third question, are you all currently doing anything percussion related or related to drumming
I
currently?
am not. I did when I after school. I did a little bit with two different high schools. I worked with Norcom and I worked with um, Indian River High School with their lines for. But I'm not doing other than just trying to make sure the young boys on the line, you know, stay in the course, and you know, um,
Gotcha.
they do. Trust me. I'm just
Okay.
playing the auntie mom role of parent now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I am a music teacher. I came back home and I'm the music teacher at that same middle school.
Oh
Good
uh,
wow.
for you.
so that's what I'm doing. And my fiance, Dre, and I, we are the drumline instructors uh, for our drumline.
Okay.
Okay, so
Current-
Hmm.
okay,
Oh,
so
I was gonna say currently. I play at a church here in Sumter County, and my mom, they've been singing and playing and all that stuff for 30 years or so. So I play for their group as well.
Okay.
you know that's really good. I think Shantae, you probably hold a double hat here. You're not only I believe you said you're the band director and the drumline coach. So you wear two hats at this point in time.
Hmm.
If you can, what are, and this may be alluding to something later down the line, but I mean, I just think it's really good that you went back to the middle school where you started from, and
Hmm.
you don't really get a lot of that, and that's really spectacular. And Rashida, I think with you, if you don't, even though you don't have anything, your hands specifically on drums at this point in time, physically you're still there. You know, you're still a person to look up to. You know, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's at Norfolk, like you said, you make sure those young cats are still staying in line with how you guys run the program or how they run the
Mm-hmm.
program, or $1 million ideal of what should happen on that line, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only that, it's like sometimes they just need somebody to talk to. You know, a lot of, and I can attest to when we were in college. You know, we may have been doing some things that we didn't feel comfortable talking about, and so I try to make sure they can have open dialogue. With me about anything. So if they're having maybe at school or maybe little female problems or whatever, they can call me, talk about anything. And I marched with some of their parents. Weird.
Mm-hmm.
So, they feel very comfortable talking to me, and I want to I've been trying to keep that line of communication open the entire time since I've left, because I'm very passionate about maintaining, number one is integrity, and also we have a big family atmosphere. We all have, so yeah, I try to keep that, talk to them all, and just make sure they're doing all right. Make sure they're going to school. Make sure they're doing their homework. Make sure they're graduating. Let them know that it's bigger than drums, and that's something that we say all the time. It's bigger than drums. We're actually a lot. Some of my closest friends, people that you know had my blood, sweat, with on the line. To this day. So we try to keep that family atmosphere. I just like to say, I like to have their line of communication so that they feel comfortable and not go out and get in trouble because they were scared to talk to somebody.
You know, that's go ahead, Elijah.
Now, see, I think that's good. Each line needs an old head like that they can go and talk to. Be comfortable with. Everybody can't talk to everybody, but I think each line needs someone like that, like you're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
salute.
that's good. And that kind of segues into the next kind of topic here. So as a voice and someone to look up to, what advice would you give a younger female drummer aspiring to be in the drumline at an HBCU?
Thick skin is the first. Have to have thick. If you're super sensitive, you're not gonna make it, because off the top, people are gonna give you a hard time just because you are a female. I don't know how good you can play. There's going to be somebody that's going to look at you and automatically you're beneath them because you're a female.
Mhm.
There are going to be some people that's going to talk to you real crazy. You have to have thick skin, man. You just have to understand that it's a dog eat dog world out there in these drumline streets. Trust me, people, all of you know.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Better get your joking game up.
Oh yes.
You better have have
I
that
have to work on that.
and and do it. But all, if you know you have the talent, don't let anybody can do. You know,
Mhm.
I have he's one of my dear friends now, and I'm not even gonna throw his name out there. But my second year, well, he didn't march. He marched the year before me. He didn't march my rookie year, but he came back my second. So I will never forget in the band room. We were lined up in like the order of our player ability, if you will, and he.
Mhm.
And one day out of the blue, he just said, "I can't believe I'm sitting behind a girl," and he was so pissed about that.
Wow.
And
Mm.
because I thought he, I knew a lot. Some people felt that way, but he actually said it. Now, he doesn't remember saying that, but I do because that was a big deal.
Yeah.
Him.
Yeah.
I mean, he still apologizes, even though he doesn't remember. He apologizes for it all the time, but it is not the point. It's like, so just because I'm a girl, I can't. Now, make no mistake. When I was in high school, I mean, I could really play. I mean, I made state, all regional, city, all of that stuff. So when I got to Norfolk, I knew that I could play. So I wasn't worried about my playability. It was just, like I said earlier, adapting. But for him to say I'm behind a girl, like I was some monster or something, like why is she better than me? Then it was like you trying to discredit all the hard work that I've been doing since I was 11. I started playing when I was 11. I'm
Mhm.
because I'm good, not because I'm a female. It's just because I can play. So, everybody, if you know you have the talent, I would say that to any you have the talent, you just don't let the sidebar conversations distract you. You can, it's a mental game. It's a really big mental game. If you're not strong mentally, they will tear you apart.
Mm. Yeah.
To add to that, I would say that you just have to believe in yourself. Um, you have to know that you can do this. Don't let the guys intimidate you because truth be told, I ain't throwing shade, but truth be told, the guys already know that they ain't no better than you. They know that already. So I'm not saying walk in there and be cocky and be arrogant, but if you have a certain level of confidence and a certain level of belief in yourself, you'll make a believer out of everybody else around you. How do I know that it's the case? I did it.
Come on.
Mhm.
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 Yeah.
Okay, Shantae.
Yeah. For me, I would say don't dim your light for others. That was my whole like take from my my 4, 5 years, whatever. I did it, but my time on the drum line was just not dimming my light. I feel like I dim my light a lot just because of other people's expectations of me, my own expectations, my changing interest from music to like beauty, makeup, things like that. And then just dealing with school, just different things like that. That was what it was for me. Um, and then a lot of it, we talked about challenges early on. I had a lot of challenges my first and kind of second year that just really hurt my heart. I'm gonna be honest about that. It hurt my heart dealing with those situations. So I was like, I don't know if I want to do this, but what I was doing was the opposite of what the other lady said. Was I was allowing those things. I didn't have the thick skin. It definitely I couldn't build a habit before coming to school because I'm from a totally different area, different region, and all of that. So that's what it was for me. And so if I would go back, I would tell myself, don't dim your light.
Yes. Well, go ahead, Rick. Go ahead.
I think everything that you guys have said is really eye-opening to me. And if I were to, if a young lady came to me and said, I want to be on an HBCU drumline, I would say to them, first, really, really do your homework. Go check the line out. Make sure you really understand what you're getting a guard of. Go around, talk to them. Just not talk to the people that are in the drumline. Reach out to somebody. Reach out maybe to some other females that are in the band. Just to see, hey, how's the culture in the band? How's this? Speak to like I said, the folks in the drumline. And just like you said, I think the one thing that's just, you gotta have that tough skin. I had to have the tough skin for me.
Yeah.
And I had to have it. So, it's just amplified for you guys that are trying, for young ladies who are trying to get on the everything is just amplified. You got to have the tough skin. You got to be you got to be ready to go on the fly. You got to be ready to pick things up. And it just seems like everything is just, that would be that much more challenging for you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you did. Oh, go ahead. Somebody first.
I want to piggyback off what you said. So you said that you would tell an email to go and check out the client. You say that to a male. Why you say that? Just strictly.
Yeah, I would say that to anybody. I'm interested in the HBCU drumline. Do your homework. Do your homework. Go down there and talk to them because, as you can see, there might be a drumline of 25 folks. 25 people are already there. And that's for anybody. Mm-hmm. That's for anybody. Just do your homework. Make sure it's something that fits your personality. If you're not a person that's got tough skin, and this is for male or female, it might not be for you. You're gonna find a lot of challenges with that before you even pick the drum up.
Yes, Sinead, you had mentioned something about not being cocky but being confident. I do remember when y'all came to Highland Springs High School. I was one of the high school judges, but I saw you playing. I could see in your face you was confident in what you was doing. It still sticks in my head today. But yeah, being confident, not cocky, but just having that confidence, coming in. So I'm gonna switch it up on y'all. Next question: if you could march for another HBCU drumline, who would it be and why?
All of
them. About that.
Does it have to be just one?
Be as many as you want.
Okay, I'm gonna give you mine for three different reasons. Bethune, because I just like Bethune. They're clean, they're consistent with it. They're kind of style, but I say them because I just want to play the tambourine one time. I just think.
Me too.
Just one good. I would want to play for WT for Jackson because the smoothest cadences and really get down in the funk deep, and I really like their style a lot. And believe it or not, Cold State, because they also, I have a lot of friends from Cold Steel, and I let them know those slow tempos, man. That's the part. I just want to get down there one good time. Those would be mine.
Okay.
Let's see. I got into every school I applied for, so I was just happy to be wherever. I told my mom in 8th grade, I was like, I'm not staying here, so let's get ready for it, for me to leave. But if I had to choose, in high school, I draw, but in high school, I made these shoes. I had Norfolk on one side, Jackson State on the other. I had Virginia State on the other side, and then I had North Carolina A&T. So I had if y'all know what white girls are, we call those shoes. My mom. So basically, excuse me, they like just regular plain shoes, but that's what my mom called them. And so I drew on those shoes. So those were my 4 schools. Um, I I love those schools even now. But now I'm at a Bethune. I'm not by no, but yeah, no, I'm at a Bethune too. If I had to,
Okay.
All right. So here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. I honestly never wanted to march for another HBCU. SC State had my heart since ninth grade, and when they came, the whole band they came to a battle of the bands my high school had. They were the exhibition performance, and when they marched onto the field, they played a cadence that we played. You know, seeing as though we had our high school percussion instructor march for SC State, so he taught us one of the cadences that they played called '05, and I think it for me it was just the amount of bass drums that they had that made that cadence sound so much. It just sounded so much better than what we played, and I wanted to be a part of that. So it was I never really wanted to march anywhere else. I wanted to be a part of that drum line. I love the intensity and the swag that they had, the suaveness and everything that they played with. So I always wanted to march there. And I'm not saying that I don't like any other HBCU because I
Hmm.
do like other schools, but I honestly never wanted to march anywhere else but SEC.
Okay.
That's
But
good.
Yeah.
when I was in high school, believe it or not, I wanted to go to Howard, and um, I'm kind of glad that I made the decision that my mom said absolutely not. It's so expensive. Um, but um, but yeah, I don't think now, and to piggyback off what Shanavi just said, I don't think now any of us would choose to play any other sector than our own because that's home. That's
Hmm.
um and I wouldn't either. Like I could, let's just say I went back to school to another school. I could never pick up at another school. But
Yeah.
speak ones that I mentioned, I think it would be cool to do, just like if a one time thing, like let's say if you could just, how they have those wife swap shows, like if they had
Hmm.
a swap show, that might be an idea.
Oh.
that'd be good.
Oh, that would
Um,
be a good idea.
and just march for the other line for a day just to see how.
Yeah.
That's really
Um,
good.
Yeah.
E E was a mentor to me for sure. Coming in, one of my drumline brothers and I, when I was still in school, we would send him videos all the time. Be like, "Is this it? This right? Is this right?" He'd be like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, that's good."
Yeah.
So
They used
like
to. They used to bother me almost 2 or 3 times out the week.
every day, yeah,
But no, I appreciate that though. Yeah, because you used to come over here to the Highland Springs competition
yep,
under Arthur. And that's yeah. So
yeah.
That's
So
all
that
good.
was a deal for me.
yeah.
That's all good feedback. So we got two, but it seems like Bethune is the one where folks would want to really get down there and really, hey, look, let me slide in the drum line real quick. Let me see what I can do with them. I like it where you said, I'll personally, I'm gonna stay with South Carolina State. That's where there it is. I'm
Yeah.
not going nowhere else. Okay, good. So we want to. You guys mentioned this earlier, an aspect of your positions in the drum line, and have you ever served as a captain, co-captain, or section leader in your drumline? If so, what notable contributions have you made to enhance the quality of your drumline when you were there?
Well, I think I'm the here to speak on that. I I was section leader my last year. Um, it it didn't come without a challenge, I'll tell you that, and the the challenges were I was now the section leader of people that I've been in the trenches with for all of these years, right? So now we have that genuine love for each other. We have that brother sister bond, and now I say I have to check them, and so it came with some instances where there were some people who were having a hard time separating me as their sister and then me as their leader. And I had to learn that that's a very very thin line where it's like, look, 3 to 5 technically, which is our band practice, but we all know that band practice never ends at 5 o'clock. Okay,
Jesus. Ours didn't start till 6:30.
for the
Mm.
3 to 5 right now, but we all know wink.
Yeah.
As far as that, I have to put. I can't be your home now. I have to make you're dirty. You're dirty. You have to sit down, and it doesn't have. I don't want to hear. Come on, man. But we boys. I don't want to hear that. For boys, you would have your stuff together, and we would be together marching on Saturday. So
Okay.
that was a little bit of a challenge. It wasn't. Believe it or not, I really didn't get too much opposition about being a female in that role. Surprisingly, the opposition came from other lines that they really couldn't believe that there was a female section leader, because at that time it was just unheard of. Honestly, Norfolk had never had a female section leader for MD before ever. So I was the first one in that role, period. And so it was a culture shock to a lot of people. Even some people, some old heads at MD was kind of shocked at first, because that had never happened. But once I believe Shanevi had said earlier about you just have to show them what you got, and so they could tell early on that I was not. They were just not going to talk to me crazy. They're not going to push over me. I'm not the crybaby. So you're not going to say nothing to me, and it's going to hurt my feelings, and I'm going to cry. We're going to go at it. So you have to be that way. As far as the contribution, I would say breaking that barrier and the first female to do it, and to let others that come behind me know that yes, you can be in that role as well. And there actually was one 2 years after me. So there was another female section leader at Norfolk. So I would say my contribution is breaking that barrier, kind of kicking the door down to let others know that it's possible, that you can.
Yeah, I wasn't a section leader, but I just feel like contributions that I provided to the line was snacks. I love to eat. I would just be real. I love to eat, so I always have some snacks on me. But having food and just making sure everybody was good, though. Playing the mother role, mother, mama, auntie, whatever they needed. That was me, but that's also just who I am as a person. And then also making sure that the guys and just everybody on the drumline, in general, that they stayed on the drumline financially. I made sure that the guys on drumline, and when I say guys, I hope everybody, I'm talking about everybody, but the guys on the drumline made sure that their FAFSA was done. I got them scholarships and loans. I told them where to go, go and get it. So that's what I do now too. And so that was my contribution to the line.
For me, like Shante, I never held a section leader position, but I always believe that you don't have to have a title to be a leader.
It,
Yep.
I always believed in leading by example. And like Shante said, I always tried to make sure that everybody around me was okay. Before practice would start, I would get in and, I check on everybody. How was your day? Did you get to class? How did that test go? How you think you did on the test? I wanted to make sure that everybody mentally was good, because if you ain't good mentally, then this drum stuff it's not gonna matter. It's not gonna make a difference. So I think that was my notable contribution. I just tried to make sure that everybody was good, and make sure, like Rashida said earlier, that they had somebody that they could come and talk to. Make sure that I was that person that if whether it was just issues with drumline, issues at home, they felt comfortable enough to come to me and talk to me about it.
I think that all of us did that. I didn't even speak to that, but I definitely, and still do. I did. One of my biggest pet peeves when I was dirty fingernails, and so there were times where I like feel, and they can tell on the field, I would have a fingernail in my pocket, just sitting doing nothing. I would go down the line and make sure that their fingernails were not. No woman's gonna want you laying up beside them with some dirty fingernails.
Mm-hmm.
This is true.
You
This
know,
is very true.
and sometimes they just don't have anybody to tell them that. And
Yeah.
so, I
Mhm.
wonder, is that like something that all females on the line like have that, kind of bond with everybody? Look, no, don't do that. We can't have dirty feelings. Or, hey man, go get your scholarship paperwork. And I kind of see that that's maybe a trend with all of us, to be honest.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think women
we
just in general are nurturers.
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, Rashida, I had a question as I was listening to what you were saying, and as all three of you ladies here have been a beacon of light to someone in the drum line, has been a way for someone to actually come to you and speak to you about certain things, whatever it may be. In your experience, Rashida, I was just looking at in regards to this question, to get to that position of a leader in, especially at Norfolk State, what was that like? How did you get in that position to where you were able to try out for like drumline captain?
Well, the year before I was um so I was kind of already primed, if you will, for the role.
Yeah.
The next year, everyone had to audition regardless whether you were on the line
Mm-hmm.
when we had for the summer of 9. I scored the highest. And so our percussion instructor, he just pulled me to the side and was like, "All right, man, you're gonna be the section lead." And I was like, "What?" And he said, you got a problem with that? No, sir. And that was really it. There was no meeting. There was no prep work. It was like, hey, all right, you did the work. You got the score. You're it. You got a problem with it? No. And that was pretty much it. So I had to kind of put my big boy pants on really, really quick. I didn't any preparation. I had no idea at all that, because I guess I didn't even think about it, honestly. I just went in there and played what I had to play, and let's get to the next thing. I wasn't thinking about the possibility of even being section. To be honest with you, that was never, um because just being on the line was good enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mhm.
went out when I first stepped foot on campus. My goal wasn't, I'm going to be a section leader. Now, some people aspire to do that. That's no problem with that or at all. But I just didn't. I just wanted to be on the line, and so I guess, like we've been talking about, I guess the theme for today is we all have that nurture spirit, and we just wanted to be good, and he just decided to pick me after the auditions and stuff. So there wasn't like a real battle between me and somebody else as far as section leader. My percussion coordinator, Ed Ricks, he decided, and all he asked me was I okay with it, and I said so. I'm assuming if I would have said no, then he would have picked somebody else. But or knowing Ed, he probably would have said, "Too bad, you're gonna do it anyway." But uh, it that's just really how it went. So I wish more fantastic and fabulous story to tell you about the process, but it really was just that.
And
Yeah.
what years were you section leader?
98.
98. Okay, gotcha. All right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Think
All right.
too,
So
though. Oh, my bad.
go ahead, Shante. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think too, for like any percussion instructors, band directors, or anything, is don't overlook the female in the line either, because a lot of times, our approach, or I just say for mine for sure, was let me blend in, just to get, be here. I want to be here with everybody. I don't want nobody to look down on me. I don't want nobody to necessarily not look, make me feel like I'm higher than them or anything. I just want to be with where everybody's at. So you just never know that your the female on the drum line could be that person. She could be the section leader. She could be the drum major, whatever it is. She can be that person. So.
Okay. All right. So for the next question, so it used to be rare. This in my eyes. Growing up, you always see females playing cymbals. Never see them play anything else, and just me talking. We have three snare drum, three females right here, right now, the snare drummers. What do you do to change the mindset for females that want to play snare or anything other than cymbals? Like I said, now they playing quint, snares, everything, but you didn't see that before. So what would you do to change the mindset of the females?
Practice.
Well, I think first. Oh, go ahead, Rashida.
Practice is the first thing. I've actually had some people from MD that played cymbals and moved to and practice. Pain is really the main thing, because it's a different, dramatically different type from cymbals to snare. I would just say you really have to be focused, and you can't mess around with it. You can't at all. There's no room for laziness. There's no room for you doubting yourself. You have to be sure. You have to know the material. You have to execute it, and not only that, you have to execute it a little bit better than the guy. That's because you are a female. You just have to. You have to be precise. You have to be amazing at all. You have no room, like I love to say, to be jacked. You have to be amazing all the time, and you just have to be mentally prepared for that. You have to understand that you're going to have to practice. Even the best person practice to keep their hands up. You just have to practice. You have to really focus on your reading, because no shade, but there's a lot of people that play cymbals that honestly never play percussion ever.
Mm-hmm.
They came to whatever school and on drumline, and cymbals probably the thing that they could grasp. Not know how to read music, but on the snare line, you're going to read music.
Devin Miles is not real.
Devin Miles is not real, ladies and gentlemen. So but that comes with how determined are you? Do you really want to do it? Because we will be able to see the problem if you're doing it. You have to put the work in. No one's going to give it, and you shouldn't want someone to give it to you anyway. Something by knowing that you worked hard for it and you practiced, you did what you had to do. I don't want anyone to get handouts, because you know what, down the road they're gonna say, you know what, you only got on the line because you're a girl.
Bingo.
You weren't on the line, because you was a girl. So you don't ever have to say that to you and it be true. Just practice, just have that strong set, and just be willing to put the work in.
I would say that we first have to address the lie in order to change their minds. And the lie is that girls can't play drums. And we all sitting here today know that that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, there are a lot of young girls that live in environments and are surrounded by, family and friends that back that sentiment. And because no one ever breaks the lie, no one ever presents them with evidence that they can, no one ever shows them anything different than what they've heard their entire life, they don't even think it's possible for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we first, like I said, we have to show them that it is possible. And like Rashida said, you have to put the work in. We didn't get to where we are by just sitting around doing a bunch of nothing. We practiced. I know, at least I did. I practiced till my hands fell off too. My mother had to come in the room and tell me, go to bed, like give it a rest. And even still, I'm in the bed, hands on my chest, 8 on the hand, something. We practice all the time. So we have to, just first make sure young girls know that this is possible for you. You can play a drum. You do not have to limit yourself to just cymbals. If you want to, like Rashida said, you just have to put the work in and believe in yourself, and you can do it. And if I would say so myself, we can be pretty good at it.
Come on.
Just saying. Just saying. Just only saying. Only saying.
Yeah. I would say all of the same things that the ladies have already said, for sure. And just if this is your craft, if this is your love, this is your passion, um, do it. You know, this is yours. It's not no one else's, and don't let nobody take it away from you or anything. It's yours. Work on your craft. Be better every day. Get better every day. And the guys go hate.
Yep.
You know, they go hate, and it's all right. But
Yeah.
you know, you have your expectations and you have your goals for yourself. So just continue to do it. Learn, learn,
Yeah.
and do.
And I just want to go back and say there's nothing wrong with playing cymbals. But I just want females to think, well, I'm a female, I got to play cymbals. As you see, we got three of the best, snare drummers, at their respective schools. So, don't think I meant, with cymbals is just a female's, instrument.
Mhm.
I that I play cymbals, so I will applaud anyone who picks up those cymbals. And oh my God, I don't know how to be honest with you. I've seen
Yes.
arm and all the war wounds, and y'all can have
Yes.
it.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
No. I think it's I don't know where we got this notion that playing cymbals is easy. I would like to be the first to say it is not. I tried cymbals one time and I pinched myself and I put them down and never picked them back up. I said, y'all got it.
I'm a
Y'all got
grown man. I'm a grown man. Don't want no parts of the 20-inch cymbals.
Nope.
I'm good.
it. None.
I'm good.
None.
You know, you know
Zilching
what?
at that.
I think if I had to wind the clock back, I think it would have been really great to play cymbals. And I say this because, with those cymbals, it's just slot them in the case and that's it. Let me get out here, have a good time.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
I'm glad to be in the drum line. I think it just would have been good to just be like, hey, I'm a cymbal player. I'm gonna slide the cymbals in the bag. I'm on the bus. I'm ready to
I'm
get out.
gone.
You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
We're playing drums. It's like you're in that spotlight. The light's always on you. There's always somebody gunning after you, but there ain't nobody gunning after you playing cymbals though.
Yeah.
True.
Well, and
So,
I never played cymbals or bass. I've only played snare and quints. Although E wouldn't let me play quints because I was too short. But
Yeah, it's too short.
mm,
Hey, so,
I
hey.
know. I'm like, please. He was like, no. But no,
Oh
it's just
man.
because I'm short. Not that I couldn't play it. But when I'm teaching, when I would help Dre teach different high schools or whatever, the first section I would go to is symbols. So although I cannot play symbols, I can teach it. And I'm saying like I don't want to be hurt. I don't like I don't want no war wounds like you said, no bruises, none of that. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna cry. But but yeah, I don't. That's what it is for me for bass drum. I like how it sounds. I just never got the chance to play it.
I
that's really
tried to
great.
talk. I tried to talk our percussion instructor into letting me play bass. He said no. So
Oh,
That's
and then
he's
good.
like,
also
no, we
for
need you up here.
yeah, it's my bad. But for our my current drum line, so my middle school drum line, um, if we have females that play, we have girls that play the drum that's on the drum line, but I make sure that there's one, at least one, on the snare line and quints. So we have a girl on quints, and we're trying to get somebody another girl to play snare, but she want to play bass. So I'm not gonna really move her since that's where she want to be.
There it is. There it is. So that's good information. So I think the next topic that we want to look at is you guys have all marched in your respective drum lines, South Carolina State, Norfolk State, Virginia State as well. Just describe the culture of your drum line specifically. And when I just say that, more or less talking about, hey, what is it like to march in your drum line?
Intense and competitive. Um, Everything we played at SC State was intense. It was aggressive. Even our warm ups, and our audition process was the warm ups because we knew if you couldn't play the warm ups, let's don't even worry about the cases because the warm ups are slightly less intense versions of the cadences that we played.
Mhm.
So it was to prepare you, for the cases. So if you couldn't play the warm ups, and it's really no need for you to even try to, play the cadences. And we competed amongst each other a lot. It was always, but not in bad competition, not in negative ways, but it was to make us better within ourselves. So it was always the left side of the snare line versus the right side of the snare line, or the snares versus the quints. Like who could play the next 5 reps clean with no mistakes? And we took that mindset, that intensity, and that competitiveness into performances and battles and stuff like that, because we knew that whatever the other line was going to play, it wasn't going to be as intense, as aggressive, and as clean as what we were going to play. So that was our culture, just intense and competitive.
Yeah. I would say our culture is, well, first is a big, really really big brotherhood type the family. We genuinely love and help each other like that. Um, but our motto is, I mean, perfection. That's our motto, and a lot of people, of course, people have criticism about our playing style, and some people on this live as well, and Rick, we heard y'all talking about us your last, but
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no, I ain't say nothing bad.
you did.
Yeah.
Oh, they're trying to
That's
clean it
a
up now. They're trying
hey,
to
hey,
clean it
hey,
up
hey,
now.
hey, we can have that discussion offline.
Yeah, but it's like our style is our style, and what you know love it. That's our style. We're not going to conform to other styles, because other people may not like it. So it's like you have to be understand that that's our culture. So when you get to Norfolk, understand that we're just not going to do a whole bunch of super flashy stuff. We're not going to do a whole lot of extra stick tricks. We're going to play
Yes.
and to do that. If that's your style, then there are several other schools that you can go to. But Rick said earlier, do your homework. So you have to know that off the top, that if you're coming here for that, you're not going to get it, because that's not what Norfolk does. You know, play. We're going to give you a little dance every now and then. But our primary goal is to put the sticks on the head. Um, so if you like that, or that's what you want, then hey, we'll welcome you with open arms. But you know, our style is just what it. But we're very very strict on tightness. Know your stuff. Know. Shanavia used the word intense. That's a perfect word. I mean, because it can be stressful.
Yes.
To mention, if you're having practice, then some old heads come.
Bingo.
Oh, you can literally look at the lions' faces and see the fright in their face.
Yes. Yes.
Like they know what's you know, like, oh my God, that thing has to be amazing. And it does. And I'm automatically looking at the females the hardest. And say that out loud. I'm gonna look at the females first, because I demand excellence, because you have to. You have to be great. You have to be great. And so I would just say our culture is that big family, brotherhood, perfection, and we play. We're gonna play first and dance later.
Yeah. Ours is a family feel. That was really the biggest thing for me on why I even chose state, was like they a family, and that's what I want. And especially again, moving from a different state and coming there and not having no family at all, I'm like, this is where I want to be. So ours is definitely a family. We are going to give you the group and DCI core style, very much so. We're gonna mix that all together, and that's who we are. We are definitely brothers and sisters. Like, oh my gosh. So just like everyone else already said, like we're gonna have that competition. We're gonna fight, argue. We ain't really physically fighting, but we're gonna fight each other, argue, not like each other, but then on the same thing. When it comes to performances and practice and just overall being together, we're gonna be together, and we're gonna stick together. So I feel like that's our culture.
And to piggyback, if I could, off of what Rashida said about putting the sticks on the head, as she put it, we at SC State got a lot of flack for that too, because we wasn't into the, you know, doing backflips across the field, and you know, throwing your symbol across the field to the other person and then they catch it. Like, we wasn't into that. No, we gonna stand in front of you. We're going to play. We're going to put about 500,000 beats in one measure, and you're going to get them all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're going to get all of them, and we might throw a little dance or two, a little gush in there every now and then, but our main focus was, you know, putting the sticks on the head. We wanted to play. We wanted to make sure that everybody knew we had these beats. We gonna dance for you too, but we got these beats first.
Mm-hmm. I think too for us, it just popped back in my mind was being able to hold your own, and that was really big too for us. Is can you play?
Mm.
That was it, every time, every practice. Would you go play? You playing? Oh no, you ain't playing. Well, yeah, but being able to hold your own, that was the biggest thing too.
You know, and I think from the culture aspect of it, you know, EP and myself, we, you know, when we were marching together, we had a lot of great ideas that could have really changed the scope of, you know, how Virginia State was viewed at that point in time. And we're young coming in and playing. And one thing we had to really humble ourselves because, well, I know I did,
Yeah.
because the culture was already set. It's going to be very hard, if not impossible, to come in there as a freshman and be vocal about changing something. Now, the opportunity is there for them to be receptive to the listening and everything, but the train has already left. It's either our program or you're doing something else.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's really humbling, but when we finally got our chance to do what we wanted to do, you know, it really changed some things up. But I say that to say that culture is real hard to come in there and change something that's been going forever. It's just really hard to do that.
Yeah, especially freshmen, because you don't technically have a voice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 That's where I got in trouble a lot. But
So, you know, it's good to voice your opinions, and just that's where that thick skin comes into play, because sooner or later down the line, somebody's going to really say, yeah, this is what we do here. It's really no comeback. It's really no comeback to that.
Yeah.
So that's all good information that you guys gave. So I think for the next question, it really sums everything up, and I'm just going to ask it. You know, it's 2020, and why do you think we are still dealing with some of the same issues of underrepresentation of females in our HBCU drum lines? Why do you think that is even today?
Well, it's sad to say, but you know, the drum world, period, it can be very intimidating, especially from an HBCU. And I can't speak because I never marched collegiately for PWI, so I don't know if there's challenges that we do. But it can be intimidating, especially in these days and times, where social media. I'm so glad that I didn't come up in the social media era. Thank God. Anything that you do, scrutinize everyone. You know, through that magnet, that lens, you know, that microscope. Looking to pick something wrong that you did. You know, not necessarily looking for the greatness in you, but they're looking for what you did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Make a meme, and then they, you know, do all of this stuff. I mean, cyberbullying, that's a real thing. You know,
Yeah.
you're not, and hate to sound like a broken record, but if you don't have that thick skin, man, that could really crush somebody. And so, you know, and just people can see that for other, you know, we can see it happen. We see it happen in the percussion connection every day.
Every day.
So it's like maybe they just don't have it. They don't have that. It's just not their person to really handle that type of thing. I applaud them for knowing that they can't, because don't jump in the deep end if you can't swim. And so it's like, but it on the flip side, it's a shame that way. Although there are way more females on drum lines now than it was when I was marching. It was a rarity to see a female playing actual drum on a drum line in the 90s. It was there wasn't that many. And so I'm glad that it's more females now, and I try to encourage any females that want to do it. If you have the skill set to definitely do it, because I can honestly say that's one of the greatest decisions I ever made in my life. Um, these people that I've formed relationships with, bonds with, um, I have that forever, and there's nothing great bond that I have with, with the boys. It's the greatest thing. It can get on your nerves at times because they think they're your father. But other than that, it's a great thing. It's just, I think sometimes our female intuition kind of can take over sometimes, and they'll just say, well, they're not going to pick me because I'm a girl, and just go with it, and don't even try. I honestly believe a lot of females out here that have the skill set, but they're just not mentally prepared. They may not have someone that they can reach out to just talk about, or even know a female that they've seen before that played where they can go ask them. Like, I try to make myself visible in the percussion arena to not just my kids, but to anybody. So if there's any female, whether you're in high school, whatever, you're thinking about college or you want to do it, I implore you to just reach out to me, because I have many strangers about the drum. Shantae is one.
I used to be in people Facebook Messenger all the time, like, hey.
It's like we need more of this type of dialogue that we're having. We need more of that. We need more unity as far as, because it's not of us, and we honestly got to stick together. Okay, because these try to get you. But you have to be mentally ready for what's going to play, because I think the drumline game is, of course, it's your hands, but it's a mental game. I think just can't cut it. And if you're mentally ready for it, then you're going to have some struggle. But I just implore any female, if you want to do it, just do it. If you have the determination, put the work in. If you're good enough already, go ahead and do it. It just don't focus on the mistakes. So as far as, oh my God, I'm in front of all of these people, mess up, they're gonna put me on that. That can take over. I know my very first at our home, I had a panic attack. I don't know that, but when I turned that corner to get in the stadium and saw all those people, and all you V-State people, y'all know how big they were to clap.
You know what it is.
Yeah.
I was about to say, you know who that first game was, right?
First L of the season every.
Uh-oh.
I turned that corner, I saw all those people. I felt breath leaving my body, like, oh my God. I'm thinking all of my family's here, all of my friends. It's a gazillion people here that I don't know, and I just felt like everybody was looking at me, although they weren't. But I just felt like everyone's looking at me. Oh my God! I mean, I was shaking. So thank God I made it through the tunnel. But when I got in the stand, they were like, have a seat, ma'am, and get your." I was losing it. So
man.
it just took me maybe about 5 minutes to get myself together, and then I was back, and that never happened again. But for some people, they may not take that, because that's every week. You're gonna see thousands of people, and as a female, once people find out there's a female on the line, they argue extra hard.
Yeah.
So
under that microscope,
just jump in there with 2 feet and do it. Be prepared for the work.
Yeah, I think though, if we're talking about history, of course, this is a male-dominated world, and a lot of times women weren't even allowed to play instruments outside of piano, really piano, and just not even singing. So that's just like back history. So that was a lot of it. And then even if you think about just 1950s and when American bands really start going, women were told that they either couldn't be in the band or that they only, they had to play these female instruments, although instruments have no gender. They had to play these female instruments, and percussion was not one of them. So like even a lot of the seasoned women I talked to who were like, "Oh, you play drums? I wanted to do that." But they were told that they couldn't. They were told that they had to play flute or clarinet. I mean, they couldn't even play brass instruments. So, that's how far it is. So I think, of course, that translates to the drumline as well. That even with now, like we just talked about, females only playing cymbals, or so it's kind of like you keep having people tell you that you can only play this, you can only do this, you can only do that, and then if 15 million people telling you that, then who do you start to believe in? Who do you start to hear, yourself or those people? And so I think that's what it is for the history of it, is that a lot of women were told we couldn't play those things. And then most importantly, representation. If I don't see it, and this is me being a visual person, if I don't see it, then I don't necessarily see myself doing it either. And so we do have to have these conversations, and we do have to stick together, and we do have to, be these people and be out there and talk to other females, talk to other women, other girls, and be that representation. So again, that's that shining your light, even in the darkness, even when you're not feeling it, even when you're not wanting to. And then also talking to what I said earlier about percussion instructors and band directors and whoever not overlooking women on the drum line or even in the band, because really it's based off of their bias, their understanding that, or the way that they were taught that women can only do so much. And I don't know how many times we have to prove that wrong, but if we have to prove it wrong every time, then so be it. So I think that's to the history of it.
And to piggyback off of what Shante said, that was kind of a part of my answer. Like, we live in a society that basically has placed women into a box. They tell us that you can't be a drummer, you can't be an athlete, you can't be a politician, you can't be a doctor, you can't be a lawyer. And like you said, we have to prove ourselves to to these guys or to whoever it is that's telling us and placing us into this box. um it the Not throwing shade again, the male ego for whatever reason is fragile. So when they see,
That was
okay,
delicate.
yes, when they see that a woman is coming and she is better than him at anything, they will do what they can to belittle her and make her feel like you can't be here. Like, I'm the big kahuna or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be here and march beside me. You can't be as good as me. You can't do this. And so they'll do whatever they can to, belittle her and make her walk away. But like Rashida said, it's a mental game. You have to know it up here. You have to believe it in your heart. And so I think that's why we deal with that underrepresentation, is because a lot of women, they hear that they can't for whatever, for so long and for so many years, and so many people telling them that they can't, and they believe it and they feed into it, and they don't even try. They don't even think it's possible and it's real for them. But all the three of us sitting here today are proof. You can do it if you want to.
There it is. And this is why the question was asked to us earlier. Why did we come up with this episode? And Elijah and myself, we said we want to give you ladies an opportunity to tell your story. This is your platform to get out here and tell your story, because your story is not told. There might be a young lady that's sitting right now. Well, I want to get up on the drum line. Yes, you can do it. Is it easy? Absolutely not. But it could be done. And here's the proof. And like you said, back when Elijah and I marched to see a young lady on the drum line, that was a rarity. That was a rarity. And I can't say if you were on the drum line, you were somebody. That's all I can say. You had to be somebody to be on the drum line. So this is the fun part. We're going to get into the little bonus question. You guys got your sticks? I don't see no pads over there. I don't see no sticks. No, but real talk. But we just want to end on a positive note and say for a question. This is our bonus question. It's going to be real quick. Shanavia, real quick. Your top 3 drumline. Your top 3 HBCU drumlines. Go.
SC State, Bethune-Cookman, and Norfolk.
Boom. Okay. Rashida.
Oh, same question.
Same question.
Norfolk, WT, and Coastal.
Okay. Shantae.
My brain. Okay, Virginia State, Bethune, and Norfolk.
Okay. EP.
Well, of course, the home team. But I'm gonna leave the home team out on this one. So I'm gonna go Norfolk State, Bethune-Cookman, A&T. Overall, I would say Prairie View, late '90s, and South Carolina State when Tim Green and Mark was there. I give you 5. My bad.
5. My top 3, obviously VSU, Virginia State University. I love Virginia State. My second one is Bethune-Cookman, and I just love Prairie View. Those are my top 3 drum lines. That's it right there. Those are my top 3.
Yeah.
All right. So for this second question to the last question, the second part. I'm sorry. What battle, not including your line, would you pay to see? Shantae, go.
Jackson versus anybody.
Okay. Sinead?
Oh, he said not including our drumline that I would pay to see.
Yeah, battle.
You know what? And maybe it already happened, but Bethune and Norfolk.
Okay.
I don't know if that's happened, and I would love to see that.
Rashida?
I'm gonna piggyback off of that after my answer, but my answer would be Prairie View and Cold Steel because there's so much about them two, who looked like who and who took what style from who. I would just love to see them two go at it. One that would be a very entertaining exhibition. But Sinead, it did happen.
Okay.
The last time it happened was my last year, was 1998. So it's been quite some time.
Right.
There have been opportunities afterward. There were supposed to be opportunities afterwards, but one time it was a hurricane. So actually, I think it was 2 times it was a hurricane, and neither band could travel. And the last time we were actually in the same area to be able to do it, the game lasted so long, and the 5th quarter was so long that by the time it was time to battle, the police kicked everybody out of the stadium. So MD still played. We call that the midnight story because it was at literally the next day.
Wow.
So you ever see a video of MD playing and right beside a gate, they're actually playing. On the other side of the gate is Bethune. They were getting on the buses. So we've been wanting to see that then. That's been 22 years ago.
Wow.
So yeah, we would love to see that again too.
Okay, Rick?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I would pay money to see Prairie View and North Carolina A&T, but I gotta see them outside though. They would have to be an outdoor venue. I would need to see them outside. I think that is the one battle that I would be like, I have to see this. I have to be there on the floor seeing this. I think that's the battle that I would want to see. You know, if I had to anybody but my own drum line, it would be Prairie View and North Carolina A&T. Yeah,
my answer would be Norfolk State and Bethune, like inside of a gym. You know, doing an actual show versus a show. You know, that would be something I would pay to see. Yeah. All right, so good discussion, ladies. Good discussion. Very glad you were y'all were a part, to join us today. I want to thank Rashida, Shanavia, Shantae for participating in this HBCU Drumline discussion from a female's perspective. We are missing 2, Janika and Brianna. They graduated yesterday, so they were not able to make it, but I want to say congratulations to them.
Congratulations.
Yes, if they're listening. But other than that, any final thoughts, Rick?
I just want to say thank you, ladies, for coming on. This was indeed an episode that we really wanted to take some time to just give you a platform. And, we have 3 ladies from 3 different schools giving their perspective. So for anybody out here who's listening, by all means, I hope they would be able to reach out to you, talk to you. I want to thank you guys again for coming on HBCU Drumline Talk. It's been a great conversation. And I've truly enjoyed it. You guys have really given some light to some things that, some people might want to say but can't, or might want to say but aren't allowed to.
Yeah. All right, so thanks for tuning in, ladies, and hopefully we get to do something again in the future, something similar, something different.
Thank you.
Thank you
for having us.
All right, no problem.
You guys have a good day.
You too.
All right.
All right.
Want me to remove you?
I think I figured it out. Oh, there it is. Okay.
All right. Yeah, EP, man, we had some there was some great conversation there, man. A lot of insight that was done on that. A lot of things that came to light on this.
Yes, and just to piggyback off, I think what Sheeta said, as far as females, it's going to be more mental than physical. As far as if you want to join the drum line, but you're scared, or whatever, having a confidence. I tell my line now is 90%, 80%. I'm sorry, 90% mental, 10% physical. And what I mean by physical is just putting the drum on or just marching up and down the street. But most of the process of just being in the actual drumline or band is just mental. So if you got that thick skin, like they mentioned earlier, you can do anything you want.
And I think now we're in the age where someone can reach out to you. Someone can reach out to the drumline. Hey, I would like to come and see you guys. I would like to come and talk to you. Can I talk to you? Can I just see what you guys do? I'm willing to come and check out. We're in that age now where that can easily be done either by social media, any type of social media outlet. You can email and things like that. So where the conversation, Zoom can happen. Any type of meeting can now take place. Back before, we had it. We had that. You showed up and there it was. There was no time for talk. But now you have the opportunities to really do the homework.
Yeah. But once again, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Stay tuned to our next episode. Titled "Successful High School Drumline Instructors Who Came from an HBCU Drumline." We will get you a date soon, but it's coming soon. I also like to say follow us on Instagram, HBCU_drum_line_talk. We're also on SoundCloud, YouTube, and Spotify. So if you're in your car, you're traveling for Thanksgiving holiday, throw it on SoundCloud. Let it play in your car. You don't have to sit and watch the video. We have audio capabilities also. Also, if you have any topics, suggestions, or want to be part of our future episode, or have your line as a special guest, email us at hbcuDrumlineTalk@gmail.com.
Guys, have a great day. Stay safe.
Stay safe. Mask up.